Bam, bam, my peoples, my peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what this is, man. We talking boxing. Let me kick this thing off by saying salute to everybody already tuning in. Toy Mafia in the building. Side, the real King George, Shaggy. Salute, fellas. Y'all know what we doing, man. Underrated Will in the building as well, fellas. Let me kick this thing off as I always do. Letting you guys know if you woke up today, if you breathing, yo, thank you, God. That's all I gotta say. I mean, we get to enjoy another day of life, another day of boxing, another day with family. God gave us another one, fellas. Yes, sir. Thank you, God. First of all, man, let me say happy Friday to everybody tuning in. Got some interesting topic of conversations in this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. The lunatic librarian in the building. Salute, family. And we're going to kick this thing off right away, fellas. Conor Benn is going to be facing Regis Prograis on April 11th. Now, I don't think anybody expected this. And I'm going to tell you why. We all been told already. We all seen it all over social media. Conor Benn is getting $15 million for one fight. So because of that, you're led to believe like, well, there's going to be a big fight. You're getting $15 million. Damn, who is he going to fight? So Regis Prograis, much respect to him, a former world champion. But that's not who we expected for $15 million for one fight. I mean, how long ago was the last time that Regis was a champion? Last few outings, we've seen what's happened. He been out there getting beat up. So I'm not sure how that decision was made, that Regis Prograis would be the guy that they would pay Conor Benn $15 million to fight, a one-fight deal. I feel like Conor Benn is pulling off a highway robbery right here. First of all, it's not a championship fight. They're not fighting for a title. Obviously, neither one of them is a champion. Number two, they're not even really fighting at a real weight class because they're fighting at 150. Number three, it's not even a main event. You're a co-main event. How did they even decide to pay Conor Benn $15 million to be the co-main in a non-title fight versus Regis Prograis? I feel like Conor Benn is robbing them people blind. But that's just me. That's just my take. The lunatic librarian, Benn versus Prograis, it's a bad matchup for Regis. Yeah, I believe so too. Regis is the naturally smaller guy. He agreed to go fight Conor Benn at 150 pounds. He gonna get battered. He gonna get battered, bro. Underrated Will. You want to know how I feel about that? A bogus fight. And yes, highway robbery. It looks like highway robbery. Because, look, Conor Benn had said that they were trying to talk to Rollies, that they were trying to make a fight happen with Rollies. That would have made sense because Rollies is a champion, right? So he would have been in a championship fight. He could have became a champion himself. And now that gives him leverage to fight the other big names. But Regis Prograis, that's not even be considered a big win at this point. Because boxing, and you guys know this, I'm not telling you nothing new. Boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. That's what boxing is about. And what has Regis Prograis done lately? Think about it. What has he done for people to be even interested in this fight? We're going to be interested because at the end of the day, we're talking about two good fighters. Regis Prograis is no bum. But look at the last three fights in Regis Prograis' resume. Devin Haney, he lost that fight. Jack Catterall, he lost that fight. Then he fought Jojo Diaz and won that fight. So the last three fights, he's 2 losses, 1 win. And the 1 win that he has is versus Jojo Diaz. And now he's going on to Conor Benn at 150. That's looking like Regis Prograis is going to get pummeled out there. Mr. KO, cheers, Jay Smith. Salute, family. Bam, Packers Gaming. Good morning, family. So, look, honestly, I don't know why they chose this fight, but it looks like Conor Benn is robbing them blind. Bringing Regis Prograis up to 150 pounds. Come on, man. Come on, my peoples. $15 million for that? And it's not even a main event fight. It's not a title fight. Bro, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but that looks like they overpaying like crazy. Like crazy. Packers game of Regis need to be retired, bro. But Regis was even talking about going to MMA or going to another combat sport. Like, he done got beat up so many times. Like, it's not they got beat up so many times. Because look, Prograis, right now in his resume, he only got 3 losses. He don't have a bad resume. When you're talking about 30 wins and 3 losses, that's a good record. He never been stopped. I think this might be the first time he gets stopped, though. I think he's going to take a nasty beating simply because he agreed to fight Conor Benn at 150 pounds. The lunatic like Brand Regis could get stopped in the first 3 rounds. I mean, the size difference between him and Conor Benn is crazy. And you guys know that Regis Prograis is not exactly a defensive guru. He gets hit. Mr. KO, man, this fight don't make no sense. $15 million for Regis. And he hasn't looked good in a few years. Even a Watch Jojo rocked him multiple times. But that's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Regis is coming off of multiple losses, right? Because he lost back-to-back fights to Devin Haney and Jack Catterall. And then beat Jojo Diaz. But he even, he was in a dogfight with Jojo. Underrated Will. What if Eddie Hearn knew about this and told Conor to go get that? I don't think that's the case because Eddie Hearn spoke about it and was like that. He got hurt. He really got hurt by Conor Benn dissing Matchroom and signing with Zuffa Boxing when that's their competitor. You see Dana White talking shit about Eddie talking back about Dana. They going back and forth, and you're going to go do business with them? So, I don't know. I think that, and even Eddie Hearn's father spoke about it, saying that he never seen nothing like this before. A fighter, who's part of the family, the Matchroom family, and do it like that, the way Conor did it, that was crazy, bro. Crazy. Mr. KO, Conor's going to knock him out with a hook. Young Guns, Benn and Fury on the same card will be huge for the UK. Yeah, that's going to be big. In fact, he's going to be they calling it the co-main. That shit is the undercard. What you talking about, co-main? On Lace Kicks, Regis has lost his balance. It seems to be off his last fight. Like his leg's no longer there. I mean, look, Regis Prograis, we're talking about a former world champion, a guy who can fight. But, obviously, he got cooked by Devin Haney. Jack Catterall got the best of him, too. You got to see what's left in the tank. What more can he do? Because sometimes fighters go on that slide where their performance starts decreasing and then they show up for a big fight and then they have a great performance. So can Regis Prograis shock the world and pull off the upset? I don't see it happening, but you never know. Can he have one last big fight in him? The lunatic like Brand Regis is a southpaw, slow feet, no head movement. Could see the same KO Benn delivered to Chris Algieri. Ooh, a devastating knockout. That's what you're talking about. Devastating blow to Regis Prograis. Mr. KO, Regis too slow on his feet. He not explosive no more, and his chin is glass. In that Jojo Diaz fight, he just looked like he was off mentally. And Jojo couldn't even count fingers that night. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I want to give Regis Prograis the benefit of the doubt because he's been a world champion. He has won some good fights, but it's tough to see him winning this one, fellas. I'm not making any predictions just yet. I will make my prediction, but it's tough to see him winning this fight, to be honest. Aroma Sound promoters will do the same to a fighter in a heartbeat, so they can't be too mad at Conor. And I mentioned that before. How often we don't see promoters say, yeah, we don't need you no more. You're a bum already. You out there getting cooked. Get out of here. It happens. So when you're on the up and up, you also got to make that decision. But I will say this, bro. With Conor Benn, it's hard for me to side with him. You know why? Young, what way is it at Jason at 150? Regis Prograis is going to 150. I'm going to tell you why I can't side with Conor Benn on this. Because it is business at the end of the day, right? But I'm going to remind you guys, when Conor Benn popped 30, Eddie Hearn is like the only person who stuck with him, the only high-profile name, and his promoter who stuck with him when everybody was saying he a cheater, he a steroid user, he this, he that. Eddie was the only guy that stood by him. And the easiest thing to do would have been to say, yeah, you know, we disassociating ourselves with this dude. We don't know what he on. We don't want nothing to do with that. He could have did that. Eddie Hearn could have been like, yo, nah, man, you tested positive. We're not trying to deal with this. Instead, yo, he stood by Conor Benn to the point where even Conor spoke about it. Like, yo, Eddie, you know, the way he's treated me, the way he's been on my side, you know, I wouldn't leave Matchroom. They could offer me double, and I wouldn't leave. You know, talked about loyalty, and as soon as they offer the money, he bounced. The real King George, dog. Only lunatic that love Box Center. Thanks for showing love. Salute, family. Bam. Underrated Will. Conor crossed the top dog for Lord Dog. Listen. This is a gamble. And I mentioned this yesterday. Conor Benn is gambling. You know why? Because you sign a one-fight deal. And you got to be spectacular. Because it's only a one-fight deal. What's next after that deal? Are you going to sign another deal with Zuffa Boxing? Or are you going to try to go with the other promotional companies? Because Conor Benn expressed interest in wanting to fight Ryan Garcia. Now, is Ryan Garcia going to be able to fight Conor Benn? He's with Golden Boy. And Golden Boy is not exactly getting along with Dana White and Zuffa Boxing. Oscar De La Hoya is shitting on Dana White. Almost every clapback Thursday, he been going hard on Dana White. So how is Conor Benn going to get a fight with Ryan Garcia? He's been saying he's going to fight Ryan Garcia after this fight. How you going to fight Ryan Garcia? You're not going to do it from Zuffa Boxing. Okay, he got a one-fight deal, but who are you going to sign with next? So there's some questions to be answered and some decisions to be made by Conor Benn. Let's see what he's going to do going forward. But even, look what Frank Warren said. Was it Frank Warren? Yes. Frank Warren, look what he said. The sums of money that's being paid, I don't see what type of investment are they doing. And then he said, yo, look what he said. Conor Benn isn't even the best at his weight in Essex. That's a diss. He dissing the shit out of Conor Benn. Like, bro, you're not even the best in your weight class in Essex, over there in England. $15 million. And my peoples, you guys know this. $15 million, that's main event money. That's title shot main event. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez got $10 million. $10 million. And that's a mega fight. That's a big fight. Two of the best in the game. Reigning world champions. Facing each other. $10 million a pop. And you pay Conor Benn $15 million to fight Regis Prograis in the undercard, I don't know. I don't know how they supposed to flip that money. You know, you're supposed to be making money off of these fights. I don't know how they're gonna make money off of that fight. The math ain't mathing, my people. The real King George Conor is just gym surfing at this point. Aroma sound. Conor Benn has that Ryan Garcia star power in England, I suppose. I mean, he has to have that type of star power, but still. You know, the undercard, shit. How you gonna make that $15 million off of Conor Benn? To me, that looks like they giving him $15 million and they're gonna take a loss. And it's like, yeah, we could take a loss on this money, but it's not a big deal because a lot of people are gonna tune in, and we got money to invest. They're investing to get their image out there. And here's another thing I don't understand. How the hell Conor Benn signed a one-fight deal with Zuffa Boxing, but he's not even going to be fighting in the Zuffa card? This is a Ring magazine card, a Riyadh season card. So you see, that's what I don't understand, how they doing business, how they intertwining it. Because what I would have expected is that Conor Benn was going to fight in the next Zuffa card. I would have thought that he was going to be the main event on Zuffa Boxing. He signed with Zuffa Boxing to fight on a Riyadh season card. But then again, that also shows us that Zuffa boxers are not going to fight exclusively on Zuffa. The stars, they already said they're going to allow Jai Opetaia to fight, you know, for the other belt. So I guess the big names of stars, they're going to be allowed to fight anywhere. And then the guys that they got coming up, that, you know, the young fighters, the prospects, the guys that's trying to make a name for themselves, those are the ones that we're going to see on the Zuffa cards. The Lunatic Librarian, that's because Turkey hold the keys to boxing. Aroma Sound, they done probably did that more to undercut Eddie Hearn and make him Matchroom look bad. I mean, it just doesn't make no sense. You're giving Conor Benn all this money to sign him to Zuffa Boxing, and he's not even fighting on a Zuffa card. That's crazy. Maybe they're going to have him wearing some Zuffa shorts to promote their shit. I don't know. Aroma Sound, some rich guy, petty chess move kind of thing. I mean, I guess so, because like I told you, man, $15 million for undercard, a non-championship fight versus Regis Prograis. That shit don't make no sense. No sense at all. Quib, is that a bad thing or a good thing if your theory is correct that fighters are able to just fight in any different type of promotion besides Zuffa? I mean, the fighters from Zuffa, most of them will be fighting on Zuffa Boxing. But remember, this is not my logic. Dana White already said that they're going to allow Jai Opetaia to fight for the other belts. So obviously those fights will not be staged under Zuffa Boxing. And Conor Benn, they signed him for one fight, and it's also not going to be on a Zuffa card. Conor Benn is fighting on a ring, on a Riyadh season card. Underrated Will, Turkey don't hold no keys. He a wannabe. Him and Dana are puppets. Queen, but $15 million to not fight for your promotion, I don't see how that makes business sense. I mean, I don't see how it makes business sense. You're giving somebody a shitload of money. And to fight elsewhere, unless they lying to us, unless it was a 2-3 fight deal for those 15 mils and they try to tell us it's 15 mils for one, maybe he's going to fight that one and then go to Zuffa Boxing and do another fight or something. But a one-fight deal to go fight over there, I mean, okay, I guess we got a shitload of money and we spend it on anything. Maybe, you know, Conor Benn is going to be wearing Zuffa Boxing shorts and Zuffa Boxing gloves and wear a Zuffa robe on his way in, and they're going to promote the brand like that. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it, my peoples. Jason Bo, Benavidez versus Jai Opetaia. When that fight happens, it's going to be a monster event. Big fight. But it's not going to happen just yet. Benavidez got his eyes on Zurdo, and he might go, he said that he will go back down to 175 to fight Bivol and Beterbiev. So those are two fights that Benavidez wants to make. Let's see. Let's see how that cookie crumbles. My peoples, what do you guys think about Jermell Charlo calling everybody out at 154? Jermell Charlo trying to get that smoke, fellas. He already called out Jerome Boots Ennis. He's already calling out. And what he says is interesting because he's saying, can you really be a champion at 154 if you didn't beat me? I remind you, fellas, Jermell Charlo did not lose his 154 titles in the ring, and he was undisputed. He was an undisputed champion at 154 before moving up and losing to Canelo. So, he's never lost. He's never lost them titles. Nobody beat him to gain those titles. So he got a good argument. He is making a good argument. Can you really be champion and you ain't never beat me? And now he's calling, you seen him calling for Errol Spence, but he's trying to get in there with the champions. He's basically calling out the champions like, how you a champion? You ain't beat me. So you got Boots, you got Xander Sayers, you got Sebastian Fundora, Josh Kelly is also a world champion at 154, but none of them beat Jermell Charlo. So you have to take that into consideration. I would have expected, because of his inactivity, that he would come back to a tune-up, but he's not having it. He not having it. He trying to go in right away with the big boys and get that action. Now, I got to tell you guys, no matter how much people dislike Jermell Charlo, that he got a lot of haters too, you got to accept it. The lunatic librarian, Charlo needs the money. That's what Errol Spence said. But now, that Canelo payday didn't run out that quick. That Canelo payday was real good. He got money. But I will tell you, regardless of the reason that he wants to come back, there's no such thing as a Jermell Charlo boring fight. The only fight of his that I didn't like was him versus Canelo. Because to be honest, it looked like Jermell Charlo was out there trying to survive at times. Just trying to make it through. But outside of that one fight, Mel's been about that smoke. All his fights, action-packed. Bombs away, he pulling out the heavy artillery and trying to lay hands on you with bad intention. Both Charlo brothers are like that. And I tell you right now, I would like to see both Charlos back in action, because you know what you're going to get every single time they step in the ring. All fighters need money. Need money though. Fighting is their job. That's right. Underrated will. That lifestyle get expensive. So he could be running low. Aroma Sound. We all need money. That's a fact. The lunatic librarian. Charlo didn't want Mortasaliev. He also at one point didn't want Tim Tszyu. And you know what's funny? That rumor that was floated around about Errol Spence gonna fight Tim Tszyu, but he need a tune-up first. And we spoke about it on the show. Really, I seen stuff from Errol Spence that told me he ain't made no decision yet. So we thought that it's kind of a done deal, him and Tim Tszyu. That's not a done deal. Aroma Sound, that's like saying, we're going to work because we need money. Of course, that's why we're going to work. That's a fact. If we didn't need money, we probably wouldn't be going to work. So we all got to get that money. Libra, I think Tim Tszyu is a tune-up, honestly, for Spence. I mean, but Errol Spence hasn't been in boxing for over 2 years, 2.5 years. So you have to wonder, what is he going to have left in the tank? How is he going to perform? Because, Tim Tzew's taken a couple of losses, but who did he lose to? Bakr Mortasaliev and Sebastian Fundora. So it's not like he lost to bumps or even to average Joes. The lunatic librarian. Charlo is full of himself. He gets washed by upper echelon of the division. I don't know about getting washed, bro. Like, he never been washed in his career. Well, Canelo kind of washed him. He jumped up 2 weight classes to try to beat him. Underrated Will. If you didn't already hit that like button, my Box Center family, come on, man. Stop with the ghost watching. I know there's some ghost watchers, some classic haters. If you're not one of them, double tap that screen, my peoples. Come on now. It's Friday today. Everybody's in a good mood. Some of us even got paid today. Come on, man. My peoples. Let's segue into this one, man. I'm super looking forward to this. Some good old heavyweight action. Of course, we're gonna see the heavy artillery. We got Fabio Wardley going up against Dubois. Wardley versus Dubois is going to be a slugfest. And let me just point something out. I feel like Dubois is a great fighter, championship caliber fighter, but Wardley has to be one of the most underestimated heavyweights out there. I'm telling you right now, Wardley is super underestimated. Pasta Track, Jay, do you think you can do special shows like 70s heavyweights, 80s heavyweights, best middleweights? I actually did something like that a while back, like a year ago. But a lot of people didn't tune in, didn't embrace it like that. So I was like, man, it's hard for me to put something together, spend all this time, and then people don't show up. It's like, nah, man, I can't invest too much time in something that people's not gonna support like that. But I did that before, and I like that concept because there's a lot of old fights that I like to talk about. The way those fights played out, that era. I got to see the late 80s, the early 90s, the mid to late 90s, the 70s. I didn't get to see it like that. But I like to talk about boxing that we've seen in the past, great matchups, great fights. I love to talk about that, bro. Boxing fans, until Charlo is beat, stay quiet, y'all. I want to say this, man. I got mad respect for both Charlo brothers because every time they step in the ring, we get some good action. We get that real smoke from both of them. Dari Panam, there's a lot much more better qualities of heavyweights now than the Klitschko's era. Look, man, right now, there's some real good heavyweights. Some young heavyweights coming up too, by the way. But I mentioned Fabio Wardley for this reason. The narrative around Wardley has been that, he got his power. He got his power. He just hit hard. Did you watch him beat Joyce? Did you see the jab? Did you see the hand speed? Did you see the angles, the combination, the footwork? Come on, my peoples. Fabio Wardley can fight. He's a legitimate world champion, and he's a threat to anybody. In fact, he was trying to get the fight with Usyk. He was trying to make a fight with Usyk, and Usyk really wasn't having it. Pasta Track, maybe a historical say or something. Who beat the Charlo? That lost. The lunatic librarian, Tony Harrison beat him. Canelo beat him. And Castano was all over him, both fights. Those fights was good with Castaño. Those fights was good. Two left hooks. Damn, I'm late. Good morning, family. Salute, my brother. Bam. So listen to this, my peoples. Today is the Independence Day in the Dominican Republic. This is a holiday today. That's why I started the show a little bit later, so I could go on a little bit later, give people the opportunity to tune in. But it's a holiday because it's Independence Day. Yes, sir. Independence Day, ladies and gentlemen, here in the Dominican Republic. We claimed our independence on this day. Celebrating that, my peoples. Yes, sir. Happy Independence Day. Bam. Yes. Super proud, super happy. This flag. Let me tell you guys something. Oh, look at the shirt. You see the shirt? You see the flag shirt in the building, right? Enzo up in here. Come on now. So let me tell you guys something interesting about this flag. This is the Dominican flag right here. The Dominican flag is the only flag in the world that has the Bible. Look at the Bible right there. Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, go with mama. This is the only flag in the world that has the Bible. No other flag. You can Google that. You don't have to take my word for it. And I forgot what verse is on it, but we're a nation of God, my peoples. Yes, sir. The lunatic librarian, Jamel Charlo's best win is who? Austin Trout or Tony Harrison? J-Rock Williams? I mean, I think all of those are good wins. All of those are top-notch wins. Pasta track, independence from the French. That's a nice-looking sergeant of arms. Sergeant? I don't know what you mean by that, bro. But it's actually, boom. See it right there? That's in the middle of the Dominican flag. And like I told y'all, man, the Bible is right there. Pasta track, independence from the French. That's a nice looking sergeant of arms. My peoples. J-Rock win is one. Nasty uppercut. That fight with J-Rock was crazy too, man. I watched that live. But if you think about all of those fights, okay, I feel you. I think he meant coat of arms. Okay, there you go. So let me just say this. If you watch Charlo with J-Rock, they really went at it. And there was a moment in that fight where you're like, damn, well, what is going to happen over here? They really went at it. And that's why I say I really enjoy watching both Charlo brothers. I really like watching them because they're always going to make it a fight. They're always there to fight, and they like to trade leather. Both Charlos got real good footwork, real good movement, real good ring generalship. But ultimately, they like to bang. They like to stand there and trade with you and beat you with those exchanges. Libre, today we drink juice. Congratulations to our country, salute. Two left hooks. J-Rock was never the same after that uppercut. Yeah, J-Rock was done. J-Rock was done. We never really see him get to that level where he's looking like a threat. Like he's looking like, okay, yeah, Jay, that's it. Charlo finished him. Pasta track. Yeah, that's what I meant. Did you guys declare your independence from the French or Spain? So the War of Independence here in the Dominican Republic was actually DR and Haiti that fought it out. Spain and France had already left the island. So after Spain and France, Haiti first defeated France and kicked them out, and they got their freedom. But Spain, we didn't defeat them. They left on their own. So then Haiti took over Dominican Republic, basically occupied Dominican Republic for 22 years. And look, a quick history lesson, right? A lot of times people don't understand the beef between Haiti and Dominican Republic. And if you're not on either side, like if you don't live in Haiti or if you don't live in Dominican Republic, you're not really gonna understand that beef. You kind of just picking sides from the outside looking in. You really don't understand it, right? So you can hear the version from somebody from Haiti, and you can hear the version from somebody from Dominican Republic, right? I've heard the version, and to me the version from Haiti sounds fake, but to them my version sounds fake, right? But this is the reality. What I'm telling you is facts. It's not a version, right? Haiti won and liberated the slaves in Haiti, right? And France left the island. Spain was on this side of the island, the side that we call Dominican Republic. Spain left on their own. They decided that it wasn't going to be financially viable. They left. So shortly after Spain left, Haiti, that was already organized, military and everything, came to DR and occupied the country by military force. They came with their military. It's going to be our shit now, right? So now the whole island was occupied by Haiti for 22 years. During those 22 years, Dominicans were slaves, literally slaves, like, took our land, took everything, and you're going to do what we say we're going to do. So for 22 years, that's what Dominicans were, slave in this island. After 22 years, the padres de la patria, they call them the fathers of this nation, they put together the Trinitarios, and they was like, nah, we're going to fight back. We're going to get our country back. And that war started el 27 de febrero, the 27th of February. Is Independence Day because that's when we fought against Haiti, and they ended up going back to their side, and Dominican Republic became a free nation for the first time. That's it. Now we're a free nation. We're under nobody. 27th of February. So that's why there's never going to be, you see that beef between Dominicans and Haitians, especially in the island, because the Haitian version is that, oh no, you guys sided with Spain and you guys sided with these people and we trying to free everybody. And then the Dominican version is, wait a minute, what do you mean? We ain't sided with nobody. They left, they not here. We free ourselves from you because you try to take our land. So there's always going to be discrepancies between how they see it and how we see it. But ultimately, the independence was, Dominican Republic has only had to fight Haiti for independence. They didn't fight anybody else. So you're always going to see that beef between the two nations. Unless today we enthusiastically and proudly celebrate 182nd anniversary of the independence of Dominican Republic. Long live Dominican Republic. Yes, sir. J. Smith. This is why you speak Spanish like me. Because of Spain. Queen. Is Charlo overrated? Some people say that he is. In my opinion, I think a tuna fight to show the division that he is capable of taking everyone on. Charlo, are you talking about Charlo Adames? Because Charlo Adames is going to fight Austin William Ammo real soon. And that's going to be a good fight. In fact, you guys may recall that fight was canceled, or it was, I guess, postponed because they still going to fight because Adames was dealing with flu-like symptoms, and they had to stop that one. My people's Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez getting under people's skin, y'all. Ah, man. You see what I'm telling you about Teo, man? First, he lost to Shakur and said, I got no excuses. The better man won. I was giving him his flowers for taking that L like a champion. And now he's out there saying that, look, now he's out there saying that the fight was all by design and he was happy to make it look the way he needed it to make it look. I already told y'all, man, Teofimo be on some cornball time, on some goofball stuff. Why would you accept that you lost and then claim that you did what you was trying to do? Yeah, you really wanted to look like you was getting your ass kicked? You really was trying to look like you was getting dominated. You wanted to do that. Because that's literally what he's saying. And like, come on, Teofimo. Look, and I mentioned this during yesterday's episode of Boxing for Breakfast. The reason why a lot of people don't like Teofimo Lopez is because of his own big mouth. He be saying dumb, goofy stuff all the time. He does it way too much. Teofimo got to get his mouth under control. Somebody take the damn phone from him and tell him just shut up on social media. How do you get on there and say, and I'm going to tell you something. Teofimo saying that it was all by design and that he did what he was supposed to do, that's bad for boxing, y'all. Because at the end of the day, do you want fans to think that the fights are fake? Do you want fans to think that the fights are scripted? Especially when you know damn well you got Chaz whoop. You know you got look like a Macy's janitor. Why would you go out there and say, yeah, you know, it was by design. I wanted to make it look like that. You're a goofball for that. That shows that Teofimo can't even handle taking an L. He can't even handle losing without playing dumb, without playing the goofball. Like, bro, take your L's like a man. Like, when he lost the fight, like, Shakur beat the racist out of you, bro. Shakur had you apologizing for slavery and even going like this, Black Power. Like how you look. Aroma sound. Tio trying to stay relevant by being a heel. But he doesn't realize he's corny. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and I said that yesterday. People who are corny like that, they don't even know they corny. They think that they cool and that people's buying into they corny shit. Queen, he's still doing. There's something should really tell him to just watch what he says. Because now people are going to think you're losing on purpose. Who loses on purpose and then say it was designed? You see? You want to be taken seriously, but then you act like a dummy. Posture track. Yes, a boxer's manager should tell him no social media for 2 months after a loss. Especially if you're emotional. Because there's fighters who take a loss and hop right on social media. Hey, everybody, I just want to tell you I'm good. I'm straight. I'm not hurt. I'm glad to be going back to my family. And they say some positive things, and it's okay if you're going to do that. But if you're going to be out there looking like a dummy, looking like a goofball, just stay off social media. You got no business on social media, acting like a dummy out there. For real. Shackle hands. Tio is corny. The real King George. Only fights are scripted is MVP Boxing Jake Paul promotion. Be careful, man. You don't want Jake Paul suing you or suing me. Shackle hands. I've always known Tio to be a fool. Al Booger. Brian Norman Jr. handled his loss like a man. See? Handled it like a man. And by the way, Teofimo Lopez said that he's not going to let go of his pops. He's going to keep his pops on there. They're going to add to that team. But Pop Dukes is staying right there. Big mistake. I'm going to tell you, big mistake. And Tio's like, yeah, Pop's got some things that he got to work out on himself. But yeah, we're going to stay together. All right, that's your career. Is you got to get in the ring and get your ass whooped. JJ said, I have 23 likes. God damn, my peoples. We going to an hour of action this morning. And not even 30 likes, man. What's up, my people? What's up with the ghost watching? Shaggy, happy Friday, my G. Salute, my brother. Bam. The Assassin, J. Smith. Bam. Salute, family. Teofimo Lopez is a cornball. There's no getting around it. My peoples, what's next for Ryan Garcia? What is next for Ryan Garcia? Ryan Garcia is going to have options. And it looks like he's going to be pursuing that fight with Shakur Stevenson. Now, I got to say, man, Ryan Garcia done really shitted on his haters. really took a dump on all his haters. You guys seen it during the last few episodes of Boxing for Breakfast before the fight. How many people were saying that Ryan was going to get knocked out? Ryan doesn't have the skills. Ryan doesn't have what it takes to beat Mario Barrios. Y'all remember that? And how did that fight play out? Yeah, he didn't have the skills to beat Barrios. How did that work out for Barrios? Golly. Barrios got his ass whooped. Wazaza whoop. There was never a moment in this fight that you was watching and you say, yo, I think Barrios got him. Barrios about to get him. That never happened, my peoples. There was never a moment in this fight where you felt like Mario Barrios is whooping that ass or it looking like Mario's gonna beat him. Never happened. Never. So what are people gonna say about Ryan Garcia? This is the most funny part about it to me personally. How you was telling me Barrios was gonna beat him up, Barrios was gonna knock him out, Ryan Garcia don't got what it takes to beat somebody like Barrios. How you tell me all that? And then right after, you're gonna tell me, nah, Barrios is a bum. Barrios is underrated. Barrios ain't never done nothing anyways. What the fuck? Bro, how did you go from Barrios as a champion, he's gonna beat Ryan Garcia up, and you flip the script now, Barrios is a bum. He a nobody. What the fuck? Pass the track. Regardless of what Barrios is, Ryan look strong and fast. Aroma Sound. Ryan should fight an easy opponent for first title defense so he can keep the title more than one fight. Then take another big fight. Queeb. Who should be his first title defense? So, getting into that, did someone check Ryan for after the fight? I mean, he's enrolled in VADA testing, so I'm pretty sure they tested him before and after the fight. Pit. Whoa, I missed that fight. Unbelievable. What round did he knock them out? Garcia. Nah. Garcia dropped Mario Barrios, but it went the distance. But he absolutely dominated him. Made Mario Barrios look like a Macy's second shift janitor. Al Booger. I was really hoping Barrios would beat his ass. A lot of people was hoping for that. But now, look at this. And I think this is real interesting. Bill Haney said, if Ryan Garcia doesn't fight Devin Haney next, Devin Haney is going to 154. Now remember, Devin himself said that the ship sailed, that he was not fighting Ryan Garcia. But he said that before Ryan became a world champion. It looked like he may have a change of mind, a change of heart, and be willing to make this fight. But they slick. They want this fight. They basically, Bill is saying, we want this fight next or we leaving at 154. Why? Because ultimately, staying at welterweight, you got Keyshawn Davis breathing down your neck. And Keyshawn is applying serious pressure on Bill and Devin to make that fight. So it looks like they're gonna do the same move they pulled on Shakur at 135. It looks like they might pull that same move on Keyshawn at 147. Yeah, we out of here. We're going to 154. Keyshawn is saying, you running from me. Y'all say y'all was willing to fight me. What's going on now? The Assassin. Jay, I'm real pissed now that I think about it. I wasted money driving to NYC to see Ryan versus Rolly, but I know for a fact that wasn't Ryan's full potential. I mean, Ryan didn't give us his best. He didn't give us his best that night. He wasn't the best version of himself. But also something to consider. Ryan got clipped with a big shot early on. Was it like the second round where he got caught? Second or third? And I think once he got hurt, he was never himself. He was focusing more on what was coming his way. And also Rolly's. Rolly was the best version of himself. Salas, iconic Cuban coach, got Rolly's on point. The jab, constant jab to the body, the movement. Rolly's wasn't the usual, let me stand in front of you and just bang it out, try to get you out of there. Nah, Rolly's looked real good that night. So Ryan didn't look like his best, and Rolly's was the best version of himself that we've seen. Shaco Hands, the clown narrative about Juice is ridiculous. I mean, look, if you notice, I respond to people that bring it up, but I don't even bring it up because I know that they being body tested. So if you don't like Ryan, you're always going to bring that shit up. Forever. That's it. That's going to be your thing forever. Shaco and Barrio probably do work at Macy's. Man, after that beating Ryan Garcia gave him, it looked like he went straight to work. Aroma Sound, Keyshawn Davis is probably easier than most of the guys at 154, though. I don't know. It doesn't look like Devin feel that way. Because they could fight. Look, this is why it's not a bad look, in my opinion. Devin Haney himself say, yo, I want to fight Keyshawn and Shakur. Keyshawn first, then Shakur. Why you mentioning their name and ready to go to 154? Ready to go 2 divisions away from Shakur Stevenson and a division away from Keyshawn Davis. Look like you're not trying to fight none of them. Jason, at 27 likes only. Come on, my people. An hour of action right now. And we ain't even get to 30 in a whole hour. Aroma Sound, 154 has some dogs. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a dangerous division. Shaco Hands, they ain't making enough bread. Mac Majestic, Keyshawn is clout chasing. I don't know why you feel like he's clout chasing. He went to Bill face to face. It was like, yo, y'all gonna give me this opportunity. We're gonna make this fight. And Bill was like, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna talk. And now they're like, well, it's Ryan at 147, or we leaving to 154. Well, why you not even trying to make an offer or nothing? So, Shaco Hands, yep, scared of Cord. Oh, no, they scared of Shakur for sure. Scared to death. Al Bugger, we already ready to go to 154, bro. Like, huh? How you ready to go to 154 right after calling people out and your weight class? Quib, who said Ryan is on Juice? Why would he be on it? I mean, somebody mentioned that. But me personally, if you're enrolled in vital testing and everything was good, I got no reason to believe that you was on nothing. Shaco Hands, and want to always be one weight class above Shakur. Yo, that seems like it's been the case with Devin Haney ever since Shakur got to 135. Shakur got to 135, became mandatory, he left to 140. Now he went to 147. Shakur fought at 140. Now he's talking about going to 154. It's like Devin is always going to try to be in a different weight class, no matter what. I seen that coming a mile away. Shaco Hands, they don't want that course Smizzy. Nah, they don't want it. They don't want it. A lot of people don't want it. Double AD, good morning, brother. People can say Ryan beat a bum, blah, blah. But that night, and that version of Ryan looked like he can beat anyone. Stop the hate. Ryan Garcia became a world champion, and he didn't get a title emailed to him. He didn't get elevated. He beat a reigning world champion in Mario Barrios. Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it. If you respect the sweet science, you gotta respect that he's a legitimate world champion. The real King George. If Haney loses to Ryan, he needs to retire. No, I wouldn't agree with that. And I'm going to tell you why I wouldn't agree with that, the real King George. Because let's say he loses to Ryan Garcia, but he's able to beat another champion and keep winning titles and keep accomplishing. Why retire? That's just losing to that one guy, because sometimes it happens. Ryan Garcia may have his number. We don't know that yet. But let me give you an example. Sugar Shane Mosley, his first loss was to Vernon Forrest. Got his ass whooped. I was so mad as hell that night. And for the rematch, I was looking forward to the rematch. I was like, Mosley gonna beat his ass. Yo, Vernon Forrest beat the shit out of him again in the rematch. Beat him twice in a row. Beat the shit out of Mosley. And who beat Vernon Forrest? In case you don't know, Mayorga. Mayorga beat Vernon Forrest. They fought again. He stopped them. Stopped Vernon Forrest. If Mosley would have retired back then and there, then we would have been like, oh, Mosley was good, but he wasn't all that. Instead, Mosley came back, beat the shit out of Mayorga, then became a champion again and kept winning and accomplished more. So I don't think losing to one guy, even if you lose to him twice, it's enough for you to say, okay, it's time for me to retire, because it could just be that one guy that got your number. It happens sometimes. Jay is in the house. Rolly stuck to his coach game plan. Yo, Rolly's coaches got him on point. He a different version of Rolly's right now. On Lace Kick, I heard Barrios retired. Nah, that's definitely fake news. He didn't say it. Nobody in his team said it. Somebody floating around fake news. Aroma Sound. Why retire because of a loss? It's fighting. Someone has to. It's fighting. Someone has to lose. That's facts. People lose. The Assassin. Whether Barrios' experience go out the window. I remember the lead up that kept giving Barrios props. I mean, we're talking about a legitimate world champion in Mario Barrios. And if you look at the resume, he's been in there with some top-level fighters. He's been in the big stage. Pasta Track. Mark my words. Haney is done. His ego got left in the ring. Nah, bro. If he was done, he wouldn't have did what he did to Brian Norman Jr. Did you watch that fight? Brian Norman Jr. was a young, hungry, undefeated world champion who was coming off of destructive knockouts. And people said what you said. They said, nah, after Ryan Garcia and running from Ramirez in Times Square, he not the same no more. Beat the shit out of Brian Norman Jr. Beat the shit out of him. So you gotta give him his respect, bro. Side, yup, finna stay one division away from core. I'm telling you, it looks like that's what they're gonna be doing. They're always gonna be a division away from Shakur Stevenson. And still people believe that at 135 it was Shakur that ducked because he didn't take the offer. He gotta do what Haney say or he ducking, according to the haters. But in reality, we saw Devin Haney run away from the division and staying far away from Shakur. Von Dix. Ryan ran to a weight he can't even make instead of fighting Haney at 147. Nah, what weight are you saying that he can't make? Are you saying that he can't make 140? Are you saying that Ryan Garcia can't make 140? Come on, bro. I'm gonna be the one to remind you, brother, that Ryan Garcia weighed in at 143, and he specifically said that Floyd told him to go into that fight 3 pounds overweight. And you remember he went in 3 pounds overweight and tested positive. That don't mean that he can't make weight. That don't mean that he can't make 140. If he chooses to fight Shakur Stevenson at 140, people are going to say that he can't make that weight. He's going to make it. He'll be able to make that 140. Shackle hands. But Bill said it on that video that leaked. Or he said it when the dude recorded him without him knowing that they didn't want that smoke with Shakur. He said it. Jay is in the Jay Smith, they hate us because they ain't us. Aroma Sound, no Diddy. Devin has 2 wins since his loss, and he's coming off a good win over Brian Norman. How is he done? Yeah, that's what I don't understand. How can anybody say that he's done? Like, Devin Haney is putting in that serious work. Got some good quality wins. And that last win, let me just point out that he was actually the underdog. Going into that fight, he was the underdog versus Brian Norman Jr. and absolutely dominated him. Side, my dude Superman had to step out for a sec. We back. Pasta Trap, retire would be crazy. He just wouldn't be fighting world-class talent. Pasta Trap, I did not see that last fight, my bad. That last Haney fight, my bad, bro. Devin Haney beat the crap out of Brian Norman Jr. Like, it was a beatdown, bro. The Assassin. Now, here Albright proved himself. If it wasn't for the mouthpiece, possible KO Frank needs to tighten up, man. look, I'm gonna tell you like this. The Hill Albright definitely proved me wrong. I thought he was gonna get knocked out. I like, nah, Frank Martin coming off of a devastating stoppage. Albright is not a power puncher like that. Frank Martin gonna be all over him. It did not play out like I thought. Now here Albright put all type of hands on Frank the Ghost Martin. And when that last bell rang, honestly, you didn't know who won the fight. Like, damn, who won this fight? So that was a legit draw. Frank Martin could have lost that fight. It was a draw, right? Cam, besides Norman getting knocked down, I can't say Haney beat the shit out of him. Yeah, I'm going to say he beat the shit out of him, bro. Look at his face at the end of the fight. I think his face tell the story. Face look all messed up. Aroma sound. Then after them beat Norman, they tried to say the same thing that they're saying about Barrios, that Norman was never good. Of course. Look, I've already learned this. The go-to line for the haters is to discredit the opponent. Look at Crawford. Porter was washed. Arrow wasn't the same. Canelo wasn't the same. Nobody was the same. Crawford beat all these world champions, beat all these high caliber fighters. None of them are the same, and they all bums. And look at Shakur Stevenson too. He didn't beat nobody, and none of them, they bums. They all nobodies. But you look at the quality of opponents that he's fighting, you can see that he's not fighting dudes with losing records. He's fighting dudes who won medals in the Olympics and everything. But they all bumps as soon as they fight Shakur. That's the hater go-to line. Discredit the opponent. Just business. Ryan, and what's your boy name? Benna something? Are you talking about Benavides? Double AD. If it's Ryan who can't make weight, why does Haney keep changing weights? That doesn't make sense. Haney's changing weight classes a lot faster than most boxers do. He's avoiding something. That's Shakur Stevenson smoke. That's Shakur Stevenson smoke, man. He been staying weight classes away from Shakur, making sure that you can't even call me out. Just business. I think it's Benavides, Latino with the belts. Side, what do you think of Tito Mercado? I mean, look, I think Tito Mercado still got to prove himself. Still got to get some big wins under his belt. Still got to climb up. He's on the come up, but he got to accomplish. The Assassin. I already knew Albright was a problem from watching him fight Davis. Nah, man, honestly, I felt like Frank the Ghost Martin was going to knock him out. I did not expect him to show up the way that he did. Not expected from my end. Jay is not Jay Smith and Box and a Family. You guys are doing great. Keep up the boxing combo. The Assassin. Nah, Jay. But Boost warned us before the Dev versus Norman fight even happened. I remember him saying, Brian Norman ain't good. I mean, that's the thing. In hindsight, there's a lot that people can say. But Brian Norman Jr. was the favorite to win that fight. The overwhelming majority of people, even on this show, were saying that Brian Norman Jr. was going to knock him out. That's what I was getting the most. Nah, Brian Norman. And I told people, I kept telling people that Devin was going to beat him. I was confident. Confident that Devin was going to beat him. But people didn't want to hear it. And I try to explain to people, yo, Devin Haney's no Jen Sasaki. I know Brian Norman Jr. been beating people in brutal fashion, but those people are nowhere near the level of Devin Haney. People didn't want to hear it. Oh, Devin's not right in the head. He's going to be scared. And I'm going to tell you the worst mistake that Brian Norman Jr. made was show up to that fight assuming that Devin was just going to be running the whole time and he was going to be chasing him. He said it during the lead up to the fight that he was going to cut the ring and catch him and knock him out. When Devin stood right there in front of him, bam, 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 trading, Brian Norman Jr. was like a deer in the headlight. Like he wasn't expecting that. Pasta track. Anyone who says Shakur Shakur says he's fighting bums and ain't awesome, don't know nothing. Don't know shit about boxing. If you try to discredit Shakur's resume, you don't know shit about boxing. Or you just don't like him, so you say anything. When you don't like somebody, you just come up with shit out of nowhere. Pasta track. Even with Haney looking good, but in my opinion, he should stay away from Shakur, bro. He doing a great job staying away from Shakur, bro. He be divisions away from Shakur. Aroma Sound. A lot of fighters say the guy that they are fighting isn't good, though. That's just talk. You can't take that as a fact. Aroma Sound. They all say opponent isn't on their level. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's normal. You can expect that from fighters. It's kind of like if, you know, if Shakur stand there and say, yeah, Teofimo, he a bum. He's saying that, but he's saying that from his level because he's at that level. But none of us in this chat can be saying that Teofimo's a bum, a world champion. Shakur could see him like that because he beat the shit out of him. Aroma Sound. I've never heard a fighter say their opponent is better than him before the fight. Shackle hands. It was more about experience and clock watching. Less than 22 punches per round. Pasta track. Fighters have to talk trash. So I gotta tell you, man, talking trash has been part of boxing. It's always been a part of the sport. You see the fighters going at it. You see the promoters going at it. You see the trainers going at it. The fans going at it. It's part of it. It's part of boxing. But you also have to understand there's levels to this. So you could talk all the trash in the world, but when we step in the ring, we're really going to find out what's what. Jay said, Jay Smith, do you not eat meat today on Good Friday? Is that what you guys do? So today, there's a lot of people that don't eat meat. I don't really care about that shit. You know, I don't eat meat every day. Pause, man. That shit sound weird. I don't consume that type of stuff every day. Anyways, I don't do it every day. But I don't really. Oh no, wait a minute. Independence Day, we eat anything. I know that there's a holiday here that people don't eat meat. I can't remember which one is it. Shaco has score still saying Tio is a great fighter. And that's something that I can appreciate. The fact that Shakur beat Teofimo Lopez, he don't feel the need to try to diminish him. He can acknowledge, yo, I beat him, but dude is a great fighter. You don't have to. That's the thing I be trying to tell boxing fans. In order to uplift your favorite fighter, you don't need to diminish the other fighters. You don't need to diminish the opponent. But we see that a lot in boxing. In boxing, we see where if you're a Tank Davis fan, you need to diminish Shakur. You need to diminish everything that he does. There's no need for that. Which, by the way, Tank Davis is looking to come back, looking to fight in 2026. We're gonna be getting into that for sure. And my people, let me ask y'all a question, man. Whatever happened to the PBC, y'all? What happened with the PBC? I'm seeing PBC fighters that are fighting on other networks or fighting with other promotional companies. Like, the last couple of fights of Kermel Moulton have been under Manny Pacquiao Promotions. You guys know Manny Pacquiao has his own promotional company. He's been putting some cards together. And Kermel Moulton is going to fight... wait a minute. I think is it this week? I know Kermel Moulton... Or maybe in a couple of weeks. I'm not sure. I don't know the date by heart. But Kermel Moulton and Emmanuel Pacquiao, Manny Pacquiao's son, they're going to be fighting on the same card. And it's a Manny Pacquiao card. Mag 7 Life. Why y'all not talking about Shakur ducking? Oh, Shaq. Oh, yes, Savannah. Shakur ducking no Shaq. Where do you even come from with this? Like, do you feel like fighters? You see, now I know that you don't like Shakur Stevenson. So by default, you're a Tank Davis fan. By default. Shakur's out there, just finished fighting Teofimo Lopez at 140, just became a world champion, and you already got him ducking somebody? Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, what are you doing, bro? Come on. Mag Life, I am a Tank fan. GTD, bro, you don't have to tell me. I know you're a Tank fan. I told you. You don't have to tell me, my G. I recognize a Tank fan right away. You guys are different. Like, you guys Shakur ducking? Oh, Shaqy Foster? Come on, bro. Yeah, you guys are different, bro. I spot you the first sentence, I already know you a Tank fan. Pasta track. That's why you knew that, Jay. Trust me, when I hear a Tank fan, I recognize them like right away. Jay is in there has duck. Duck goes, don't mess with the boogeyman. Mr. KO. So look, Mag Life. You talking about Shakur ducking on Shaqy Foster. Tank duck Shakur. Your boy duck Shakur Stevenson, but you don't say nothing about that. The world sees that. You want to talk about the world seeing it? The world sees Tank Davis ducking Shakur. The world knows that Shakur been calling for Tank for 2-3 years already. The world knows that Tank even get mad when they ask him about Shakur. Like, yo, Tank, you want to fight Shakur? Yo, don't be asking me about him. Bro, you're going to act like you don't remember when Tank said, yeah, he's on the list. He's on the list too. I don't like saying his name. Yo, Tank's so scared of Shakur, he don't even like to say his name, bro. He say everybody's name. Yeah, but him too, I don't like saying his name. And what happened with that mythical list Tank Davis had? He went from saying Shakur was on the list to then saying, don't even mention him. What he done for me to fight him? That's duck language. Duck language. Defend that shit, Mag Life. Defend that shit. Mag Life, you're talking about a one-fight deal. That's stuff that gets floated around Tankomaniacs, and y'all believe it. He was never offered a fight with Tank, ever. There's never been an offer to fight Tank Davis, ever. So I know y'all got that fake news that y'all floated around amongst each other and you convinced each other to believe it. That's never happened. Tank Davis has never sent Shakur an offer to fight him, ever, and never will. Coach Cal is on video saying, yeah, I don't like that fight. I don't really like that fight. So stop it, bro. Tank Davis don't want no Shakur. Never has wanted him. Duck him. But you're talking about Shakur. You're talking about with Shaqy Foster. Stop it, bro. Side. Tank said, yeah, I got a 7-fight deal. And he there somewhere. 7 fight means 7 years. He ain't never fighting Shakur. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Look at the resume. Mag Life. Look at Tank Davis' resume, bro. Look at who. He still ain't fight Devin. Still ain't fight T.O. Still ain't fight Shakur. And the biggest name in his resume is Ryan Garcia. That's the biggest name in his resume, Ryan Garcia, who just became a world champion for the first time now. Come on, man. And Tank Davis ducked a rematch with Lamar Roach. Say something about that. Tom Seaver, Tank Davis scared of Roach too. Ducked Lamar Roach after getting his ass whooped and being gifted a draw. Come on, man. Max 7, like the reason the list was not completed because the deal got took. Oh, man, I love to see y'all defend. Yo, you Tank Davis fans, man, one thing I got to give it to you. Y'all loyal, man. Y'all loyal. Y'all say anything to defend Tank Davis. He out there ducking all the best fighters, 30 years old, never fought none of the best. And all y'all got is excuses, man. That's crazy. Mr. KO, Coach Cal said why they won't fight Shakur is because they know Shakur won't give them what they want. Just ask Coach Calvin. They don't want to fight Shakur. They're avoiding that fight forever. They doing like, look at Devin. Devin staying divisions away from Shakur just to make sure he don't got to make that fight. Jason Tank said he didn't want to fight the boogeyman because he doesn't put asses in the seat. Shaggy and duck Pitbull for the rematch. So look, I'm going to be honest. The rematch, I don't think he ducked the rematch. I think that fight was going to happen and Pitbull just happened to lose to Rayo Valenzuela. When Pitbull and Rayo Valenzuela fought, it was for the winner to fight Tank Davis. And it was supposed to be Pitbull. He got shocked. He got upset by Rayo. So that rematch was going to get done. And honestly, I see Tank Davis beating Pitbull 10 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times. He beat him with one hand. That first fight, he beat him with one hand. Look, I called that fight live. And I remember when it happened during the fight. Boom, Tank Davis caught him and he went, boom, ah! And then he kept going. And he hurt his hand real bad. And even after the fight, they took off the glove. Yo, the hand looked like a boxing glove. Swole up like crazy. People don't like to acknowledge that. He beat him with one hand. Mr. KO, it was never no deal given to Shakur or his team. I'm telling you, Tank Davis fans made up a deal that Shakur declined for Tank Davis, and that doesn't even exist. At one point, they spoke about, they didn't offer him. They spoke about a multi-fight deal or a one-fight deal. Tank Davis was never on the table. There's never been a deal for, yo, you want to fight Tank? Let's make a deal. That's never been on the table for Shakur, ever. Pasta track, I like Tank, but I didn't think he was a dick, which is disappointment. Doesn't Tank not believe in himself? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess Tank, there's certain fights that he doesn't like and he doesn't want to do. That, you know, that's how, because you have to understand, in boxing, most fighters, they just fight who they put in front of them. Most fighters. But some, you reach a certain level of star power that you can now pick your opponent. So you can say, I'm going to fight this guy, I'm going to fight that guy, I'm going to fight. You can do that. There's not a lot of people who can do that. Tank Davis is one of those. Max 7 Life, if Tank resume is so trash, why's everyone fighting his leftovers? Who said his resume was trash? Nobody said his resume was trash. But I'll tell you, Shakur beat more champions than him. Devin Haney's beat more champions than him. Teofimo Lopez beat more champions than him. So nobody said that his resume trash, buddy. I'm just telling you, these other fighters got a better resume than Tank Davis. You have to swallow that pill. They got a better resume than Tank Davis. You see? And I like it when Tank fans do that. You say your own thing, and then you argue against your own thing to defend Tank. Like, there's nobody here that said that his resume is trash. You're saying he's trash to try to defend that. Like, you argue against yourself and shit. Nah, you don't have to say that Tank Davis' resume is not trash, because who said that? You arguing against yourself at that point. Come on, bro. Pasta track. Tank got to get some new manager, because him ducking is going to look worse than getting beat in a tough fight. Mr. KO, Devin ain't won Tank or Shakur at 135, but I like this version of Devin Haney. No, that's wrong. Devin Haney did want Tank at 135. He actually called him out. Look it up. Look, since 135, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Teofimo Lopez all expressed interest in fighting Tank Davis. Teofimo Lopez was the first one to say, I'm not even calling him out. He's not going to take that fight. It's a waste of time. He's not going to take it. That's it. I'm done with Tank. Teofimo Lopez already knew, yeah, this nigga not fighting none of us. Forget him. And he left it at that. Whenever they asked him, he's like, yo, he's not going to take this fight. So I'm not going to waste my time even trying to fight him. Teofimo was the first one who caught on. And then eventually, Devin Haney was like, yeah, this dude not trying to fight us. And most recently, you saw Shakur Stevenson like, yo, that's it, I don't need him. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm done with calling him out. So it's like everybody want to fight Tank. And the crazy thing is, I want you to address that part. Mag 7 Life. Tank Davis done beat all of them up on Twitter. On Twitter, that's why it was funny to me when they tried to say Shakur was Twitter fingers. But wait a minute. On Twitter, Tank Davis knocked out Devin Haney, beat up Shakur Stevenson, pummeled Teofimo Lopez, and in real life, he ain't never sent none of them a contract. He ain't never tried to fight none of them. On Twitter, though, ooh, he blowing them out of the water. Devastating blows on Twitter. In real life, nope, not trying to fight him. What are we doing? Why are you out there beating everybody up on Twitter, but not? Devin Haney said it best. He'll say everything, but let's fight. Tell me I'm lying. Tank Davis said everything, but let's fight. What are we doing? Max 7 Life. I know you're not talking about Twitter when your favorite fighter is named Twitterson. Okay, you're talking about my favorite fighter being named Twitterson. But I'm showing you how Tank Davis beat everybody up on Twitter, yet ain't telling nobody let's fight. Why he don't say, yo, Shakur, let's fight. Devin, let's fight. Tio, let's fight. Nope. On Twitter, he beat the crap out of all of them. On Twitter, he knocked everybody out. Who's the real Twitterson? Kawhi Elliott, Max 7. That Bama is a major Tank nut hugger. Pasta Trap. What's that mean? He just talks trash on Twitter. I mean, you have to understand it. On Twitter, Tank Davis beat all of them up. There's a post somewhere with Tank Davis, I'll beat your ass, I'll beat your ass up. But then in real life, what are we talking about? Max 7 Life, Tank not helping these bums. You see, that's why you Tank Davis fans are different. Y'all the ones that be talking about butts and seats and pay-per-views and all of this stuff. Like, bro, Devin Haney's a millionaire, made millions of dollars for his last few fights. Shakur Stevenson is a millionaire, made $10 million right now versus Teofimo Lopez. Ryan Garcia, one of the biggest stars in boxing, he's making millions of dollars. He lost to Tank Davis. But Devin Haney, Teofimo, and Shakur, they're all millionaires, bro. What do you mean bums? What do you mean bums? Mag Life, how much money do you make a year? Do you make over $100,000 a year? I doubt it. No, and I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way. I'm saying it because most people don't make over $100,000 a year. How much money do you make to be calling a guy a bum? Who's making... Shakur made $10 million for his last fight, bro. You calling him a bum. That's the thing about tankomaniacs, man. Y'all be saying the most delusional shit, bro. Bums. It's like... I don't understand it, man. I don't understand. We have this culture in boxing where we broke and we calling millionaires bums. Come on, Max 7 Life. Kawhi Elliott, Max 7, bro. Come on, man. That's the thing. Look, Max 7 is a legit tankomaniac. Tankomaniacs will just say anything in honor of Tank Davis. We're going to fight for Tank Davis' honor and just say anything. You know, we just got to fight for Tank. But Tank not going to send you a check, bro. Tank ain't sending you a check no matter how hard you fight for him. You're not getting a check. Mr. KO, he made it look easy. Pasta Track, Shakur should be able to name his price after his last outing. I think the price is up. Yesterday's price is not today's price. And you have to understand, Shakur and Teofimo Lopez, they both made $10 million for their last fight. It's a small list of fighters. We love to talk about 50 million and 100 million and 200 million. It's a small list of fighters that made $10 million for a fight. A very small list that get 10 mils. Shakur's not one of them. He ain't not one of them. Jay said that Jay Smith, get him the fuck out of here. Lord Blue, Tank is the Hercules of boxing, period. T.O. lost to Cambosis. I mean, you repeated that line too many times and in too many channels. And you're already being too much of a tankomaniac. Take 24 hours, man. Mac Life, take 24 hours. We don't want to hear your tankomaniac bullshit no more. You extended it too much. Mr. KO, $25 million fight. If he fights Ryan, I mean, if Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia fight, they're both going to make a shitload of money. They're both going to make a lot of money. Pasta track, 10 is really 5. After fees, probably 3.5. I mean, look, I'm not gonna do the pocket watching thing and calculate how much he walks away with. Because then if we say 10 is only 3.5, imagine the guy making 1 million or the guy making 2. Then we're gonna have to do that to them too. Ultimately, it's a $10 million deal that he got. There's not a lot of fighters fighting for $10 million. Have a seat. You gotta take a seat. The tankomaniac stuff, he pushed it a little bit too hard. Wait till tomorrow or till Monday. Lord Blue, Tank is the Hercules, meaning DBZ. I'm not a Tank fan. You got me completely confused, sir. Tank is trash. Well, I don't think he's trash. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he's trash. I think Tank Davis is an elite level fighter who's been, him and his team, they've been very careful about the matchmaking. They've been very careful about protecting that O. And he still hasn't fought any of the best. And I'll tell you this. If Tank was to fight everybody, let's say he goes, he says, I'm going to fight everybody. I'm going to fight all of the best. If he did that, I believe he retires with a record like 42-1, 42-2, 45-3. Like, he's going to beat a lot of big names, too. And some of them will beat him. 1 or 2 of those guys will beat him. But he's going to beat a lot of them, too. The problem is that if he want to stay undefeated, he won't fight any of those guys. That's simple. But I don't think if he fight all of the best, he's going to lose to all of them. Hell no. He's going to win some of those fights, and he's going to lose some. He's going to lose to Shakur Stevenson, for example. Potentially lose to Devin Haney. He's going to lose some of those fights. But I think to say that he's trash is a little bit of a stretch. Because we can't be an extremist in either direction. And what I mean by he can't be an extremist in either direction is that he's not fighting the best. He's not fighting the best. But he's also not fighting bums. Pitbull's not a bum. He became a world champion after losing to Tank Davis. Ryan Garcia's not a bum. Look, he's a reigning world champion right now. Frank the Ghost Martin is not a bum. Like, Lamar Roach was a champion at 130 when he beat the shit out of Tank Davis. And Tank got gifted a draw. I gotta admit to that. Side, Hercules is the ultimate fraud. But even Hercules has more guts than Tank. Oh, man. Damn, Hercules got more guts than Tank? Lord Blue, I got to start saying Mr. Satan. My peoples, I know that Tank Davis has a lot of haters. Tank Davis also got a lot of supporters. But all I'm going to say is we're going to see him fighting again in 2026. I got a feeling that we will. Coach Cal been talking about him. And my expectations are that he's going to get, probably an easy opponent that we're going to consider a cherry pick. We're going to go hard at him for that. And then maybe after that, he goes after a name. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Mr. KO, I don't see Tank losing to Haney. Tank, much more accurate than Ryan, and hit just as hard. Ryan caught Devin in the first round. I just think Tank can catch him. It's a good fight, man, but honestly, I believe that Devin could beat Tank Davis. I'm not making a prediction. It's not a prediction. It's a real good fight, but I think Devin has the skill set to beat him. Pasta track. Ray Leonard had a couple of losses. So what's with the O? Is this Rocky and Floyd fault? I mean, that's the era that we're in now, where it's Floyd's fault for sure. Because Floyd Mayweather retiring undefeated made a lot of people feel like, I got to retire undefeated to get to that type of status. I got to stay undefeated to become a star like Floyd. Jay Jason has Jay Smith. I'm going to Idaho for Easter. I will have my daughter send you a little sunshine. Oh, salute family. Bam, and enjoy Idaho. Lord's Blue. Mr. Satan says that's just lights and special effects. I don't know what you're talking about. No Mr. Satan, bro. Jay said has 35 likes. Let's get more for Jay Smith. Come on, my people. We've been at it for almost an hour and a half. Giving you that smoke. That smoke, my peoples. On a Friday morning. Yo, by the way, welcome to everybody who's tuning in to this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. It's a holiday here in the Dominican Republic. That's why you see that the show is going on later than usual. By now, the show would have been over and I would have been working. But here I am, rocking with y'all. Mr. KO, Devin has the skills to outbox Tank, but he's more vulnerable for paying the price in exchange of getting countered. Shakur, a different situation though. Pasta track. In the golden era of boxing, everyone caught losses, but we got way better fights. That's a fact. That's a fact. Because I remember, just think about this. Think about Oscar De La Hoya. How many losses he took in his career? But Oscar De La Hoya fought everybody. Everybody who somebody, Oscar De La Hoya fought him. Look at Manny Pacquiao. Everybody who was somebody, Manny Pacquiao fought him. So there's a lot of fighters out there who you're like, damn, they fought everybody who was around. Lord's Blue, how did Devin go undisputed at 135 without fighting Tank? Enough said. He went undisputed at 135 without fighting Tank because Tank had a secondary title, bro. That shit was a trinket. That's how. Tank Davis did not have a real title. He did not beat a champion at 135, bro. So I'm going to remind you, Tank got a secondary title at 135 by facing washed up Gamboa. He had the secondary title, my G. That's how. Devin Haney had the real titles. That's why. You don't have to fight Tank Davis. Tank Davis with his little fake belt. Mr. KO, I got to disagree. At a catchweight of 145, I got Tank winning. I mean, you got to understand, Tank Davis, the highest he ever fought was 140. So would he even be willing to do a catchweight of 145? I don't know. Shackle hands. That's hater logic. Tank Gladers. All Glazers. Jason, exactly. 3 or 4 losses didn't mean a thing when they got into the ring. Of course. Listen, and that's why I give UK fans credit. Look at Chisora and look at all these other fighters from the UK. They were having 2, 3 losses, and they fans still support them the same way. They fans still show them love. Mr. KO, by beating Cambosos, thanks to T.O. fumbling the bag. Pasta track. Chavez was like 91-0 and wasn't protected. When did he lose his O, Jay? He lost his O to Frankie Randall. Frankie the Surgeon Randall. No, I think he made it to 86-0. I think he was actually 86-0 when he lost the O. Lord's Blue, there you go, that Mickey Mouse belt. Tank never really won a title at 135. He never beat a champion in that division. That shit was crazy. And then they elevated him to main champion. Mr. KO, they gave him the regular WBA belt. Yeah, but then they elevated him after. He got the email belt. Lawrence Blue, we never got Tevin. Tevin Farmer was trying to make that fight with Tank so badly, man, but he couldn't get it. Couldn't get it. Shackle hands, Mr. 24, Mr. KO, facts. What happened to the Tevin versus Tank fight? It just never materialized. Tank's team didn't really want to take it. They didn't want to give him the opportunity. And Tevin he's on a downhill spiral right now. You know, he's taken a couple of losses recently. His last one, he got absolutely destroyed by Kid Austin. Absolutely pummeled. Early stoppage too. That's a bad loss. Mr. KO, I think that fight was supposed to be for the IBF strap. Lawrence Blue, we never got Gary Russell. No Loma, no Tio, no Devin, no Regis, no Devin. Just Wade Drain, Beatles, Ryan. Jay Smith, you're correct. Look, Tank, I'm going to tell you this in Tank's favor. Tank is 30 years old right now. So he's dead center in his prime, his physical prime. So the fact that he hasn't fought these guys, it doesn't mean that he's not going to fight him, right? I would like to believe that now he's going to come back into boxing after, you know, he's been dealing with legal situations. I'd like to believe that he's going to get himself a nice win at 140. I bet you guys Tank is coming back to 140. I bet you. And he's going to come back to 140 and get a decent win. Because he don't really fight bumps. He don't really fight guys with a nasty losing record or anything like that. So he's going to fight a good fighter, get a nice win, and hopefully after that he'll be going after some names. Because at 140, you got Gary Antoine Russell. And you have a few other fighters that's like, yeah, I would love to see Tank fighting somebody like that. JJ says that's Jay Smith getting ready for work. God bless you and the Box Center family. Have a good weekend. Salute, my brother. Enjoy your weekend. Mr. KO, I went for a drink and came back to Tevin crawling on the mat after getting KO'd by Schofield. Yeah, man. It happened brutally and quickly. Lawrence Blue, beltless Ryan. My bad. A Ryan with no belt. That's the thing. Tank Davis fought a lot of fighters who never even fought for a title before they got to him. Because Ryan Garcia was in his first title shot when he fought Tank Davis. Frank the Ghost Martin was in his first title shot. Pitbull Cruz was in his first title shot. Rollies was in his first title shot. He fought a lot of guys who had never even fought for a title before they fought him. Pasta Track, does Tank want to retire with a bunch of what ifs or knowing how it actually was? I mean, if you want to retire with that O, if you want to guarantee that you keep that O, it's going to be limited. The people that you're going to fight is going to be limited. Lawrence Blue, he don't fight bumps, but he definitely fights people that don't move the needle in the ranking system. J.J. Sendejas, word of the day, do great things and inspire people around you. Whoa. That's a good one. Lawrence Blue, that's the point I've been trying to make. I mean, look, man, Tank, it's like I said, they've been smart about their selection, about their opponent that they're going to fight. But you can't say unproven fighters because Lamar Roach was a world champion at 130. He brought him up from a lower division to fight him. That was supposed to me, I look at that like a cherry pick gone wrong. You're bringing a guy from a lower division to knock him out, and it turned out he beat the shit out of you. But he also fought Androide Garcia, who was a champion at 130, and he brought him up to 135. He also moved down to 130 to fight world champion Leo Santa Cruz. So it's not just unproven fighters. He's fought fighters that are proven, but not in their same weight class. Either he's moving down to fight them, or he's having to move up to fight him. Or it's almost like Tank is always looking to have an advantage in his fights. He's always, you're moving down to fight a smaller guy. You got a smaller guy moving up to fight you. You fighting this guy, but there's a rehydration clause. So it's almost like they always set it up to have things in his favor. But ultimately, we want to see him fight the names. We want to see him fight the guys that we feel like beating that guy shows that you are who you say you are. You got to beat those guys. Lawrence, he lost to Roach for multiple reasons, of course. Trust me, I followed up on the fight, the results, the investigation on everything. There's a lot of reasons why he should have lost that fight. A lot. And look, the rematch was a done deal. I'm gonna remind you, it was a done deal that they was gonna do that rematch, and he walked away from the rematch to do the exhibition with Jake Paul. Passing track. I don't think Floyd was good for Tank's mindset. Yeah, but you gotta remember, Tank walked away from Floyd a couple of years ago. And I didn't think, look, I tell people the things that are gonna happen, and they don't believe it until it happens. Watch this. And I posted about it. I said, listen, my peoples, Tank Davis is not going to be able to stay with Floyd. Why he's not going to be able to stay with Floyd? Because Floyd always want to be the star. He always wants to be the guy. He's the man. So when you come off of fighting and you come off of winning, reporters want to talk to you. They want to get your take on the fight. They want to hear what you got to say. And Floyd would literally be there talking for Tank. Like, they would ask Tank a question. Yo, what do you think? Who you want to fight next? Oh, yeah, so, what we're going to fight next, we're not going to talk about that right now because we got decisions to make. But Tank is a great fighter. And I made more money than anybody ever made in boxing. And I'm the guy that won the most titles. So, what we're going to do, it's like, what the fuck? Floyd will start talking about himself and about all the money he made and all the champions he beat when there's a press conference with Tank Davis. So the feeling that I got, remember when Puffy did that video with Mace and Puffy had the #1 and Mace was the #2? It's like, wait a minute, this is a Mace song in Mace's album. Mace wrote his verse and Puffy verse. How the hell's Puffy #1 in the video? And Mace is #2. Because that's what Puffy always wanted to be. He always wanted to be the main star, even when it's the other guy's song. So Floyd Mayweather, even when it's Tank Davis fighting, even when it's Tank Davis press conference, he want to be the guy in front of the camera. He want to be the guy talking. And I said it, look, Tank Davis, he's not going to stand for that for too long. At some point, he's going to be like, nah, Floyd, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to talk for myself. I want to say what I want to do. So when his contract ran out with Money May, I knew he was going to get out of it. I knew it. I saw it coming a mile away. And people was like, you hating, Jay. You hating. Tank is going to stay with Floyd. Tank going to do his whole career with Floyd. I was like, you're going to see. You're going to see. Tank is not going to stick around. Because nobody, listen, as men, nobody wants to have somebody else talking for them. You want to talk for you. You want to say what you got to say. You don't want to stand there quiet, looking like a goofball while somebody else talking for you. You're a grown man, bro. Now, if you tell me you're a 14-year-old kid and you got an adult talking for you, well, you're a grown-ass man and you got Floyd Mayweather talking for you and you there quiet, just looking into the air while Floyd say whatever he want to say. And you don't get to express yourself. So I knew that wasn't going to work out. That relationship, I knew it was going to go downhill. And people call me a hater for it. Look where it's at now. They don't even talk to each other. Wes Dustin, salute Jay Smith and Box Center family. Salute Wes Dustin. Bam. Lawrence Blue BM. He is great, but he hasn't proved that to the public. just with the eye test. I agree with you. Pasta track. Think Floyd will talk about all the money he's lost? I don't think he's going to talk about the money he lost. Nah. He's going to talk about the money he making, though. Side, he got main character syndrome. That's a good way to put it. Floyd got main character syndrome. Wherever he's at, he got to be the main character. And that's the problem. If you're fighting, you're supposed to be the main character, not somebody else. I said it, man. I said it. Floyd and Tank relationship was going to fall apart, and it did. Loris Blue, why is Tank not in the ranking system for the belts? I'll tell you, because they don't matter according to him. No, you're wrong. You got to remember, Tank is a champion in recess. So, if I'm a WBA champion, none of the other belts rank me. Because I'm already a champion for this one right here. So he's a champion in recess. That's the real reason. Not because belts don't matter. You can say whatever you want about belts, but you'll still be ranked if you're beating ranked opponents. So being a champion in recess means that he won't be ranked for the other sanctioning bodies. Pasta track. That was a problem between Tyson and Rooney. Also when Rooney was shouting numbers from the corner. I'm telling you, when you are the guy that's doing your thing inside the ring, when you step off in the ring and you coming off for your W, you're the main character. You are the main character. The reporters want to talk to you. The fans want to shake hands with you. The ref is going to raise your hand and have your picture taken. You're the man of the hour once you walk out of there with that dub. You're the guy. So I knew that it did not sit well with Tank, that he would win fights and Floyd would jump in front of the camera. Yeah, you know, Tank this and Tank that. And nah, I knew that. Yo, trust me. I posted multiple times about that. Like, yo, nah. Tank. There's times that you even see that a reporter asks Tank a question, and when he's going to start answering it, Floyd jump in like, yeah, you know, we're not going to say nothing about that right now. And Tank will be like, you could see him, bro, just looking at Floyd like, this motherfucker really not going to let me talk right now. You can see the tension. Pasta track. Did you see Tyson live? I did not see it. But I guess right now Tyson and Floyd Mayweather, they got their thing going on for April. So that exhibition is going down. That's how I knew that Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao was going to end up fighting. I said, wait a minute. And you guys who were in that episode of Boxing for Breakfast, you heard it. I was like, Floyd Mayweather got an exhibition in April. Manny Pacquiao got an exhibition in April. Is it really a coincidence that they got an exhibition on the same month? I have a feeling that they're setting the stage so that they can fight each other afterwards. And what did we get shortly after? An announcement that Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao is coming back for a professional fight. Floyd Mayweather's going to put that O on the line, which is crazy. That is crazy. And I understand why a lot of people are saying that Floyd running out of money and that Floyd having money issues. Because my peoples, I'll be the one to remind you. Floyd Mayweather told us on numerous occasions that he would never fight again. That he was done. That he was good with that already. Pasta track, such a weird matchup. Tyson Floyd, a lot of non-boxing fans will tune in just because they're beef. So I think that, you know, you're talking about a former heavyweight champion of the world versus a former welterweight champion of the world. I see this playing out kind of like a sparring match. That's how I see it playing out. It's going to be like a sparring match. Maybe they'll land a couple of nice shots on each other, a lot of moving around. I don't see no more than that, a sparring match. Nobody's really going to be out there trying to hurt anybody. That's what I see. They both going to get the money. They're going to get a nice bag. And people are going to be buzzing. People are going to be talking about it. People are going to be talking about Manny Pacquiao stepping in the ring in April. And they set the stage up so that they could fight each other later this year. Pasta track, yes, definitely. So Tyson, Floyd, they're going to get the bag. They're going to get that money. Nobody's going to be out there trying to knock somebody out. And then let's see, Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. This is going to be a super interesting fight. We're definitely going to be tuning in. And something that I've said, and I'll reiterate, Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao 2 may actually turn out to be better than the first fight. Believe it or not. It may turn out to be better. You know why? Because at 49 years old, I don't think that Floyd is going to use his legs the same way that he did the first time. I don't think that he dances around Pacquiao for 12 rounds. I don't see that. I think at 49 years old, with a Pacquiao that's going to be coming forward, that's going to try to apply that pressure, Floyd is going to stand more in the booth with him and trade leather. And he's going to use that movement and those angles. Floyd is the master, right? But I think he's going to trade leather a little bit more than what we used to seeing him. And because of that, this could be a better fight than the first one. You got to remember, the first fight was billed as like fight of the century or some shit like that. And it really didn't live up to the expectations. Didn't live up to the expectations. Floyd Mayweather, a lot of ring movement, a lot of counter punching effectively. Manny Pacquiao trying to chase him around, had a few moments. But for the most part, it wasn't, it wasn't as action-packed as we thought it was going to be. Pasta track, we'll be able to see how Floyd looks in the ring. I think Pac-Man puts a beating on him. Actually, I hope he does. I mean, if Manny Pacquiao beats Floyd Mayweather, that's going to be one of the most viral wins in recent boxing history. Because you have to understand, the whole Mayweather brand is built on that 50-0. If you go to casual fans, most casual fans can't name 3 opponents that Floyd beat. They can't name 3 opponents that he beat. They can't. They can't tell you how many champions he beat. They can't tell you how many divisions he was champion, and they can't tell you none of that stuff. But they can all tell you 50-0. He's undefeated. They can all tell you that. And that's why, you see, we're living in an era where everybody just trying to stay undefeated and nobody trying to risk that. Oh, Floyd Mayweather. So with him being retired all these years and have already told us that he was not coming back, it would be crazy for Floyd Mayweather to come back and catch an L at this point. Nobody's expecting it. That would be crazy. Pasta track. If he kills Floyd, it'll be the greatest knockout since Tokyo in 1990. I mean, if he knock out Floyd Mayweather, that would be crazy, bro. That would be crazy. I know. I know that the Buster Douglas stoppage of Mike Tyson is considered the biggest upset in boxing history. But this here, if Manny Pacquiao knock out Floyd Mayweather, that would be too crazy. Like, I can't even fathom it. I can't even imagine something like that happening. But let's get it, man. It looks like we are going to get that fight later this year. I'm looking forward to it. I know you guys are too. My peoples, I'm about to end this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. Pasta Track, Loris Blue was in the building. Sai, JJ's in there. John Parham, Wes Dussett, Mr. KO, Salute Family, Shaku Hands, in the building. Shaggy, what's the deal, my G? And everybody else who tuned in, fellas, y'all already know. This was another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm J. Smith. I'm about to get the hell out of here. I'll see you guys on Monday. You know what we're going to do. We're going to talk boxing, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Yo, have a good weekend, my peoples. Bam, way out of here. Let's go.